Hey you guys, welcome back to episode 3 season 8 Trigonometry. So guys, today we are going to continue from where we left off in the last time. I hope आपने last video देखा होगा where we understood what are the relationships between the sides and angles of a triangle. So before we go on ahead, what I want you to do is this. मैंने 3 triangles बनाए हुए हैं, okay? As you can see, triangles ABC, PQR and XYZ. And उनके right angles demarcate कर रखे हैं at angle B, angle Q and angle Y. आपको एक बहुत ही simple सी चीज़ करनी है. You have to note down all of the properties that I have listed down here. For example, angle A के लिए in this triangle, what is the opposite side and what is the adjacent side. Similarly, angle Z के लिए in this triangle, what is the opposite and what is the adjacent side. I have not put so much impetus on the hypotenuse because I think that is fairly easy to understand, whichever is the longer side. But ये जो exercise है, I want you to do right now. So I would request you to pause your video and take out your pencils, paper, draw up these triangles and then write down for each of these angles which one is the opposite and adjacent. And मेरे को पता है you must be thinking चलो ठीक है, let's forward it very quickly because you can just see it visually. But I would still suggest एक बार to get the feel, you must draw up these triangles and write down individually for each of these angles. So hope you do that. I'll let you pause your video right now. Guys, I hope you paused your video and now you are back. I will give you an example. So in this triangle, for example, PRQ, for angle R, which is this one, and opposite side would be the side PQ. Simple enough, right? I hope you got this one as well as all the others correct. If you had any doubts, please post them in the comments below. So going on further ahead, I'll just get rid of all of these triangles right here and let's just focus on this one. And मैं आपको इसका आंसर बता देता हूँ just because we will be needing this in the next part to understand what are trigonometric ratios. Now for angle A, let's even get rid of angle C and सिर्फ एक angle पे concentrate करते हैं. तो angle A के लिए जो opposite side है, let me just show you the angle. This one is the angle A. Opposite side is this one, as you see right here. So I can call this as the opposite side and short में लिखने के लिए मैं इसे सिर्फ O से demarcate करूँगा. I'll just write the letter O. Okay. Similarly, इसका जो adjacent side है, that is this, and let me just write this as A. Okay, to recap, opposite is BC and adjacent is BA or AB, doesn't matter whatever order you choose to write. So I can call them as O and A, and this one we are going to call as H. So remember दोस्तों, ये opposite, adjacent और hypotenuse define करना with respect to that angle is the most important thing in trigonometry. मतलब अगर ये fundamental clear हो गया ना, तो nobody will be able to hold your hand in trigonometry. So just remember this basic and what I'm going to tell you right now. So trigonometric ratios कुछ इस तरह से define किए हो गए हुए हैं. So you know what are ratios, right? So these are just simple ratios. So इसे लिखने का तरीका इस तरीके से होता है. We say that sine of angle A is defined by opposite upon hypotenuse. So that is O by H, and that is equal to BC upon AC because AC is your hypotenuse. So बस ये एक simple सा ratio define कर दिया गया है, and this was defined by one of the Indian mathematicians actually at that time, that's Aryabhat. So Aryabhat in his book had started using this ratio, which is of huge significance. It's like a magical ratio, guys. आपको मैं थोड़ी देर में बताऊंगा इसके बारे में. So similarly, there is another ratio called cosine of angle A, and cosine is defined as adjacent upon hypotenuse. So इस केस में ये होगा BA upon AC. Okay, and there is another ratio. अब obvious सी बात है, एक ही बचा. अगर हम इस पैटर्न में जा रहे हैं तो हमने पहले किया O upon H, फिर अब हम कर रहे हैं A upon H, तो अब एक ही बचा जिसमें H है ही नहीं, and that is just O upon A, right? And that exactly is called as tangent of angle A, which is actually given by opposite upon adjacent, or in this example you can say it is BC upon AB or BA, whatever you want to call it. So है ना बहुत simple, guys. This is basically your entire trigonometry summed up in 3 lines: sine of angle A, cos of angle A, and tangent of angle A. Now इसे लिखने के short forms भी हैं, but इसे याद रखने का तरीका बहुत ही simple है. So let me just show you that before we go ahead, and before मैं आपको थोड़ा भी और confuse करूं. So sine of angle A, right? It is O by H. So if you look at just these two letters together, O and H, it makes O, right? And you just have to remember that there's a division sign in between. But basically it's just O. And if you look at cosine of angle A, it is nothing but I mean, that's really funny the way these actually end up making sounds. And there is this tan, which is actually O by A, which doesn't really sound like anything, but okay, it's the only remaining ratio, so it's OA. Okay, to remember each of these, what I generally try to think of is like when you're giving someone a signature and they're like, oh, that's a nice signature, right? So sine O, and then there is cosine. So that is, so it has the word cos in it, right? It's like cozy. So when it's too cozy, it's very hot. You're like, it's too hot, yaar. So cosine, right? And that is adjacent upon hypotenuse. And tangent OA is like tan OA. Like, bhai teko tan hua kya? Right? Tan hua. So, I mean, so these were some really bad puns, but that is what actually helps me to remember these in case I ever forget it. So just for a recap, you can look at sine of angle A as opposite upon hypotenuse. Cosine of angle A is written as adjacent upon hypotenuse, right? And tangent of angle A is written as your opposite divided by your adjacent. तो वैसे इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? इसका मतलब बस इतना सा हुआ, बहुत ही सिंपल सी बात है. अगर इसकी लेंथ 3 सेंटीमीटर है, इसकी लेंथ 4 सेंटीमीटर है और इसकी लेंथ 5 सेंटीमीटर है, तो अगर आपको कोई पूछेगा कि साइन ऑफ एंगल ए क्या है, तो साइन ऑफ एंगल ए इज opposite by hypotenuse, O, right? So O में O is 3 and H is 5, so 3 by 5. That is all that sine of angle A is. It's that simple. To quickly tell you what are the short forms of these, they are sine of angle A को हम इस तरीके से भी लिखते हैं, sin A. इसका मतलब is nothing like sine is multiplied with A or anything. It's just एक लिखने का short form है. Sin A is equal to opposite upon hypotenuse. Then you have cosine A को short में लिखते हैं cos A, which is nothing but adjacent upon hypotenuse. And tan A is equal to opposite upon adjacent. So that's all there is. But अब अगर ये ratios define हुए हैं तो इनके inverses भी होंगे, right? So इनके inverses are something very very simple and वो basically इन्हीं से derive होता है. तो हम उसे किस तरीके से लिखते हैं? And what are those? Let me introduce to you 3 more ratios, as if these 3 were not enough. But they are very easy, trust me. So you have cosecant ऑफ एंगल ए, और हम लोग इसे लिखते हैं cosec a is nothing but sin a का उल्टा. Okay, so cosec a is written as hypotenuse upon opposite. Very simple. And then there is secant of a, secant of angle a. Secant of angle a को हम लोग लिखते हैं sec a short में. Okay, and this is nothing but cos का उल्टा, तो it is hypotenuse upon adjacent. So it's ho, ha and ow. So that is what you will see in the next one. And then ये tangent था, तो ये cotangent है, cotangent of A. इसे हम लिखते हैं short में cot A, and which is adjacent upon opposite. So guys, these are the 6 trigonometric ratios that will be coming back in the entire trigonometric course that you go through. But the most essential thing is to understand कि opposite, adjacent और hypotenuse में क्या relations हैं, and to remember what is sin A, cos A and tan A. अगर ये तीनों याद है तो ये तीनों are just coming from these. तो आपको बस ये याद रखना है कि इनका इनवर्स कौन सा है. You don't even need to remember this as much, but you just need to remember cosecant is the inverse of sine. And when I say inverse, I mean 1 upon sine A, right? So sine A को अगर आप 1 upon sine A करोगे तो यहाँ पे वो h by o हो जाएगा. Okay. So one more important factor here is that जब आप देखते हैं tan A, right? tan A को मैंने लिखा opposite upon adjacent. So I'm just writing O and A here, जो कि मैंने इस फिगर में बनाया हुआ है, O, A and H. So अगर आप देखेंगे कि sin A जैसा हमने यहाँ पे डिफाइन किया हुआ है is nothing but BC upon AC, right? There is BC and AC, or basically it is opposite upon hypotenuse. So opposite upon hypotenuse is what sin A is, and cos A is adjacent upon hypotenuse. So अगर आप sin A को cos A से डिवाइड कर दें, जिसे मैं यहाँ इस तरीके से लिखूंगा sin A upon cos A, तो वो बन जाएगा O by H divided by A by H, right? And then जब आप इसका simplification करेंगे तो it will become O by H multiplied by H by A. यहाँ पे you will have cancellation of H and you finally get O by A, which is nothing but tan A. So it's a very, very simple property that tan of A is equal to sine of A by cos of A. So I hope all of this was clear to you guys. I will be taking your leave in this video, but I will leave an exercise for you to complete before you come back for the next one. And all you have to do is draw this triangle ABC. Try to write down just by your memory. Okay, video rewind nahi karna, just by your memory write down what you remember of sine A, cosine A and tangent of A, and then come back to the video and check it. And then as a second exercise, what I want you to do is think of this same exercise from the side of C and try to define what is sine of C, cos of C, tan of C, cosec of C, sec of C and cot of C. So these two things will be your exercises. And one more thing I would like to tell you as a side note before we close this is that आपको ये तो पता ही है कि the hypotenuse is always the longest side, right? इसलिए जब भी आप sine of angle A निकालते हैं तो just as a hint, since O जैसे जो मैंने यहाँ बनाया 3 centimeters is always lesser than 5 centimeters, so 3 by 5 will always be a ratio that is less than 1, है ना? 1 से छोटा ही होगा क्योंकि denominator हमेशा numerator से बड़ा है. So just common sense here. Similarly, cosine भी is adjacent upon hypotenuse और hypotenuse is the longest side, इसलिए cosine भी हमेशा 1 से छोटा ही होगा. लेकिन tan on the other hand is division of this by this, and honestly आप जब trigonometry आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे advanced classes में तो you'll find out that this ranges from negative infinity to positive infinity. So I mean this covers the entire set of real numbers. But until then, I'll see you next time. Please leave any doubts or how could I make this better in your comments below, and hope to see you in the next chapter. Bye.